Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to another video. Now guys, I do apologize very briefly. I am feeling a little bit under the weather. My voice is not at 100%, and so I do ask you to bear with me. But guys, on today's video, we're going to be talking about Hansi Flick because Barcelona, after the win against Real Betis in the Copa del Rey, we are now going to be going to La Liga and playing against Getafe tomorrow. And we're going to be looking at his words in this press conference, and then as well talking about Neymar because he had an interview. He joined Romario's podcast, and he spoke in length about some topics in regards to Barcelona, why he left, and his early days at Barcelona. But guys, as always, make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. Everything is posted down below in the description. Go over there and check me out. That way you can stay up to date with everything that I do on the channel. But guys, let's just start with the video. All right, guys, let's get started with the video and let's talk about Hansi Flick because he spoke in the press conference before the match against Getafe, and he starts off by saying, what we know from the past is that it is very difficult to score goals. We have talked about it with the team, and we hope to achieve it. Now, if you guys don't know, Barcelona, we haven't won away at Getafe since 2019. In their last 3 matches in that stadium, they've all ended in 0-0 results. You know, Getafe, they're a very, very difficult team to break down. They make things very difficult. And Barcelona, they're going to go with the objective to get on the scoreboard. That's absolutely crazy that Barcelona, they haven't been able to get on the score sheet in their last 3 visits to that stadium. And we go back to the last time that Barcelona won. You have to go back to 2019. In 2020, Getafe beat us 1-0. And so, you know, it's not a very favorable streak for Barcelona. But right now, under Hansi Flick, we are absolutely flying. And I do have faith that this team can turn things around, and we do need to start picking up points in La Liga and making, you know, a good run in the competition. But now Flick talks about Araujo. And guys, there is news in regards to Araujo. I will be making another video talking about that, and some very positive news in regards to that as well. And Hansi Flick says he already said it after the game against Betis. He has a year and a half left on his contract. He's important for the team, and it would be good if he signed another contract. You can see in training that he is a leader, and we know that Hansi Flick is a huge, huge fan of Araujo. Hansi Flick now talks about signings. He says, I'm very happy with the team and the players. We only have 3 injured. Inigo won't be out for long. We've worked well on the medical level. Christensen is also back, and that's good news. It's Deco's job, but I'm happy with the team. And guys, I will be talking about Christensen because he has received the medical green light. That's absolutely huge. Hansi Flick now talks about goals. He says, we talked about it in the meeting with the team. We have to focus on what we can do. That's the most important thing. He talks about rotations. He said, for us, the most important game is the next one. We know we have games in the next few weeks, but we are only focused on the next one. First, we have to beat Getafe and then Benfica. And once Barcelona beat Getafe, we are going to be back in the Champions League. And our top, you know, our top spot right there in the top 8 is pretty much secured. Barcelona, you know, it's going to be basically impossible for us to, I would say, be out of that top 8, which means that we wouldn't have to be playing those playoff games. But you know, it's very good for Barcelona to rotate the squad, and looking especially how this team plays and looking our limited squad depth. Hansi Flick, you know, in these type of occasions against Getafe, I ask, would you guys rotate? Barcelona, they rotated against Real Betis, and we saw how well they performed then. And so for this game, I don't see us rotating that much. You know, I see a very strong 11, and then potentially for Benfica, that is when I could possibly see, you know, some rotation here and there. That's my thoughts. But now, guys, moving on, I want to talk about this quote in regards to Ansu Fati, because Hansi Flick says it's very important to be honest with the players. I've been honest with Ansu. We've talked about various options, and now it's his decision. If he wants to stay, that's fine. He's a La Masia player. This is professional football, and performances count. My job is to help him improve, and that's what we want to do with all the players. Ansu is very professional, and always focused. I want to help him. And this is in regards to news that has emerged declaring that Hansi Flick, he does not view Ansu Fati in his plans, and he is open for an Ansu Fati departure. And from these quotes right here, obviously Hansi Flick wants to help him, but he says it right there. If Ansu Fati he wants to leave, all he has to say is just tell him, and then that decision will be made. And we all know Ansu Fati. We know what he gave us in the past, but injuries completely havocked a very promising career, and it seems most likely that Ansu Fati will not be getting to that level that he previously was at. Hansi Flick now talks about Pedri. He says he has played a lot of games, and we have to be careful. It's good to have him on the pitch because he's a great player, but it's also good for his physique that he starts playing. We've changed his philosophy. It's incredible, and it's very important for us. And I wonder at what level Hansi Flick is going to be rotating Pedri, because Pedri has been amazing this season. He's been the best midfielder in the world by far. Whenever he's on the pitch, you can see just the difference that he gives to the team, and physically he's been at 100%, and that I have to give credit to Hansi Flick and his staff for the work that they've been doing behind the scenes. But also, we do have to take care of him. We do have to make sure that he is rested and feeling at 100%. Hansi Flick talks about Lamine Yamal, and he says for his age, he's doing very well. The important thing is what he does on the pitch. He helps us. That is what we like to see from him. And Lamine Yamal, so far this season, has been absolutely world class. One of the best wingers in the world, if not the best player in the world. And that's something to applaud as he's only 17 years of age. Hansi Flick now talks about the game. He says, when you control the game or the ball, we don't suffer. But when you make too many mistakes, that's what they want. They know how to play with counterattacks, and it's not easy to defend like that. It's always the same. We're a step ahead thanks to the last few games. Against Betis, we control the game, and that's what I want to see. And Betis, they're a team that's going to try to go toe-to-toe with you. We're going to try to play, aggressive and expansive football. But we do know that Getafe is complete opposite. On the board of the last, that's a team that it will not be making things very, very difficult. Will not be making things very easy for you. And so, expect a very, I would say, contested match. And I expect maybe like a 2 or 3-0 victory for Barcelona, or maybe like a 2 or 3-1. But I want to know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. What are your score predictions for tomorrow's match against Getafe? And as well, what changes would you guys make to the lineup? Would you guys go with the same lineup? Would you guys make some substitutions? Let me know down below. But now, guys, I want to be talking about Neymar, because Neymar, he spoke with Romario in a podcast, and he gave some insight into some of his decisions, into some of his career choices, and he starts off by talking about that decision in which he chose Barcelona over Real Madrid. And now, when he was at Santos, both Real Madrid and Barcelona, they were going for Neymar, and Neymar explains why he chose Barcelona. And he says, "I don't regret my choice to pick Barcelona over Real Madrid. I went with my heart there. I obviously wanted to play with Messi. Barca was a team I loved. I always watched since the era of Ronaldinho. I always said I want to play there, and it happened. Those were intense days. It was 2 or 3 days where I wasn't even training, just going from my house to the office to resolve this. It was Real Madrid's people calling me from one side and Barcelona's people calling me from the other. Both presidents were talking to me. I couldn't rationalize. I imagined myself playing for both, but then my heart spoke louder. I ended up choosing Barcelona, and thank goodness that he chose Barcelona, because if he chose Real Madrid, then we would have struggled, man. Because Neymar in those early years at Barcelona, he was absolutely world class. He was one of the best players in the world, and it's a shame that he didn't have a longer career here at Barcelona. And if he was at Real Madrid, then that would have mean much more competition. But then again, would potentially like a Gareth Bale, have joined Barcelona. I've joined Real Madrid. That's something to be discussed. And it's very interesting how Neymar spoke about that. And then as well, he talks about his first period at Barcelona. He talks about the adaptation. He says how he struggled. He says, I spent the first 6 months at Barca with butterflies in my stomach. I was like, fuck, I can't dribble anyone. I can't get by anyone. I'm doing everything all wrong. There was a day I was so despaired. It was going at halftime. I remember it until this day. It was against Athletic Club. I went into the dressing room, pissed at myself. I was playing so bad. I went into the washroom, crying by myself, thinking, "What am I doing?" And then knocked on the door, and it was Messi. He asked me, "Why are you crying?" I said, "Nah, I'm good. I'm good." Then Dani Alves came, and Messi said, "Calm down, calm down. We're here to help you. We want you to play your best football like you did at Santos, without any pressure. If you need anything, you can count on me." After that, I became more confident, more excited to play, and everything started to go well. Now, this is super interesting because I didn't watch Neymar when he first came at Barcelona. That first season, that 13-14 season, I wasn't watching football. It was only until the season after that I started to watch football. I was thinking, oh my God, this trio, this MSN, Neymar, this guy's amazing. And it's super interesting to see how, he didn't have a really good time at Barcelona during that start. And it was actually Messi and Dani Alves who gave him, a helping hand. And this is, the kind of things that the players, they appreciate. And the media, when they say, hey, Messi is a leader, these are the type of things that leaders do: help the dressing room and help those incoming players adapt. And that's why I disagree in regard to that Messi isn't a leader. But thank goodness that Messi did that, because if not, we could have had a Neymar who was struggling at Barcelona. He talks about the MSN trio, and he says the chemistry between you, Messi, and Suarez was incredible. How did it work so well? Romario asked this. Neymar said it clicked naturally. We understood each other perfectly, both on and off the field. We were competitive but supportive, always playing for each other. It was the best partnership of my year. And I'm so angry that he left to PSG, because we're going to be looking at his next quote where he talks about the reasoning why he went to PSG. But this was the best trio in the history of football, and he broke that up. And why? This is why. So Neymar, Romario asked me, I asked Neymar why he left PSG, and Neymar says, I didn't leave Barca to be the best player in the world at PSG. Messi told me, why are you leaving? Do you want to be the best player in the world? I can make you the best player in the world. I told him, no, it's not that. It's something personal. Obviously, financially, it was better than what I had at Barcelona, but there were Brazilians there too. I wanted to play with the Brazilians. There was Thiago Silva, Dani Alves just signed, Marquinhos, Lucas Moura. They were all my friends. And so when you look at that, he left for money and for his friends. Come on, man. Neymar left Barcelona, the greatest trio to ever exist in football, for money, and on top of that, to play with friends. And then, it's such a shame, because Neymar was entering the peak years of his career. And, we all know how the whole PSG story went, the failures of PSG. And it's such a shame, because Messi tells him right there, I can make you the best player in the world. Neymar, he could have done so many great things at Barcelona, and he doesn't have any regrets. But I always feel that deep down he would have loved to have his entire career at Barcelona. But guys, those are my thoughts in regards to those quotes. I want to know your guys' thoughts. What do you guys make of those quotes? What do you make of Neymar's words, and as well as Hansi Flick words? Does anything catch your eye? And let me know down below your thoughts. And I will also be making a video in which I talk about Gavi and I talk about Araujo, the latest in regards to that, because there is some positive news in regards to their contract renewals. But guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, guys.